Very good morning, FMCG TV audience. Today we are going to discuss about Iran. My best friend, Mr. Kannan. Welcome,
Hi Ganesh.
Kannan. Very good morning to you.
Very good morning to
And
you. And
our audience are very eagerly wait to hear from you. Your comments on our trumps. Yesterday's tantrum.
thank you very much. Very good morning to you and to our viewers. Yesterday, Wednesday, which was the 28th January, President Trump posted on his Truth Social website that threats to Iran, that Iran should quickly reach a nuclear deal with the international community.
Nuclear deal.
Correct. And if not, he has amassed an armada, a major, massive armada. Massive is the word that he used to describe it.
Armada itself is a bigger
Is
one.
massive, and he uses, he's a man of great exaggeration,
exaggeration.
and hyperbole. So he says there's a massive build-up. And for the last few months, there had been independent military experts have said, security experts have said that there has been an army build-up around the Iranian ocean space, right? So President Trump has, in fact, in particular, has mentioned that this is bigger than the fleet that he assembled to capture and bring down Maduro and his wife. So he says we can strike with speed and violence. Speed
That
and
also
violence.
he mentions as
Yes,
violence.
Yes, he says speed and violence is exact words. If you don't reach a deal, because his patience is running thin, and in return, the foreign minister, Iranian foreign minister Abbas Araghchi has said, "Look, we can't negotiate under threats."
Fair.
Number one, and then he also says your demands must be realistic. There are three demands that the international community, the West, is making to the Iranians. Those three are, firstly, that it doesn't enrich uranium. It gives up enriching uranium totally. Now, under
Not
the
even for
civilian
domestic
purposes,
civilian
no,
purpose.
it'll be enriched outside.
Okay.
They won't do it.
Okay.
So the earlier deal reached with the Obama administration, 97% of the enrichment was done outside.
Okay.
But that deal was not to Trump's liking. So he withdrew from the deal in 2018.
Oh, Trump
the
only
nuclear
withdrew from the
He
Iranian
withdrew.
deal.
He withdrew, and he said it's a bad deal. And in the long run, because there were timelines, after those timelines are met, there were no guardrails and safeguards to ensure that the Iranians would comply with the nuclear deal. They've always professed that their nuclear ambition is towards civilian use. It's towards peaceful purposes. Every country, even we have in Kudankulam, we have a nuclear reactor which actually produces 6 megawatts. Only 2 units are working at the moment. So we only get 2 megawatts of power.
Oh, our capacity is 6 megawatts.
So the other 4 units to come into
Effect.
will take when President Putin was here in the recent visit, both sides mentioned this and they wanted it to be accelerated so that by 2027, the Kudankulam plant will come to its full capacity.
6.
So it's the most environmentally friendly way of producing power.
Power at a lower cost also.
True, but the danger and the risks
Is only
if
when
something
it
goes
leaks.
wrong for mankind is immense. We saw the Chernobyl disaster.
Yes.
So therefore, people,
Fukushima.
the French depend a lot on nuclear plants for their power,
Okay.
for the civilian power. So the Iranians have always claimed that their nuclear pursuit is for civilian purposes, peaceful purposes. However, under the old deal, they could only enrich uranium up to 3.67%.
Okay.
If you enrich beyond 60%, you're nearing nuclear capability, armed capability. You can assemble nuclear warheads, and they have already enriched 60%.
60%.
And this is not being mentioned by the Americans. This is International Atomic Energy Agency, which is a UN agency based in Vienna.
Auditing agency.
Absolutely.
Whatever limited auditing
Audit
powers they had, they have
Absolutely.
assessed.
They have not had complete access. The access has been constrained by the Iranians on and off, but the Iranians have stayed within the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, unlike the North Koreans, who left the treaty and became a nuclear power. So now President Trump is threatening Iran because he can still threaten Iran because they still don't have a full nuclear capability. After the last June attacks on their three sites, Fordo, Natanz, Isfahan, the Americans claim that the nuclear capabilities of Iran has been severely degraded. The exact word, severely degraded. It has been pushed back. President Trump claimed that it has been obliterated, destroyed.
Completely destroyed.
Completely destroyed. I don't think international experts believe that it has been completely destroyed. More than 400 kilograms of uranium, enriched uranium, is still to be accounted for. But during that bombing, most of this uranium that they had enriched had gone underground. So when and nobody knows where it is, and at least the international community doesn't know. So if the Iranians go back and dig this up and have access to it, they can actually enrich it and then turn it into nuclear capability. It's called the breakout moment. Within a short while they can do it. Within a month they can. This is IAEA.
So they are so near.
They're very, very close. And that is what worries the Israelis. Because the moment Iran becomes a nuclear power, it will reach the status of North Korea. North Korea is untouchable today. Because North Korea is a nuclear power, declared a nuclear power. It has nuclear facilities. And if you strike at North Korea, they will strike back. And you can't imagine the consequences because the world saw in 1945 Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I've been to Hiroshima. It's a horrendous place. It is heartrending. They have a museum there. You have to go and see this. How can man be so debased? How can he act like this? But mankind is capable of
acting to any level.
Yes, mankind is self-destructive. True. So this is where we are. So there's a huge armed presence. There are combat helicopters. There are fighter jets, extra assembled in the region. Qatar, the Al Ubaid air base, which was hit by the Iranians before, unsuccessfully, that is being reinforced. There are now yesterday, Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State, he was speaking to the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee, and he was testifying before them. And he said two things that are very important. Number one, he said, if this regime falls, nobody knows what will happen.
What will happen next?
So this is one thing that is holding back the Americans because they don't want to.
They have seen what happened with Iraq after Saddam Hussein.
They were responsible.
Capable, responsible leader to replace him
because they didn't think through.
And when Libya's Muammar Gaddafi fell.
These were all very clumsily done. They didn't think through. In the first place, they didn't have any business to go for regime change. So they're not talking about regime change this time. Earlier, President Trump mentioned that he will come to the aid of the protesters if they are harmed. And later he said he had stopped 800 people who were to be executed.
Some protesters believed that in 24 hours Trump will come to their aid and things will change.
Which is sad.
Very sad. He let them down.
He let them down, and it is not clear. I mean, I'm sure we are not privy to what intelligence is telling President Trump.
True, but such a top-level political person who is impacting the world, he should not. Unfortunately, he is. These loose talks, telling something in the morning, immediately reverting back in the afternoon itself.
I think we spoke about him earlier, and we said
temperament.
He's consistently inconsistent. We said this. Yes. So going back, there are three conditions before the Iranians. Number one, they should give up any enrichment. Number one, which they won't do. They will consider it complete capitulation or surrender. They won't do that. The second is their intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, which are produced to attack Israel in the future, which can reach Israel. Okay. They have to be limited in range, meaning they cannot reach Israel. And the numbers will have to be circumscribed, will have to be limited. So this is the second condition. The third condition is Iran should not be supporting armed groups like
Yemen.
Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas. This might be the most easy for the Iranians to do because they are not in a very strong economical position to lend
For
help
their
to these
own
groups.
welfare, they can do this.
Correct. So they can. The third condition may be doable. The second condition, maybe they will consider it as surrender because they need, for self-defense, they need this. They need to strike at Israel. Israel is the strongest force in the Middle East. And if you degrade Iran further, they will become the
Most powerful.
uncontested power. So this is where we are.
Anything we can add from what Trump has said yesterday? What is your guess whether Trump will strike or guess only because nobody can.
I think President Trump has been emboldened by two major victories from his side. Number one, in the case of Iran in June during the 12-day war, the last few days they were the B-2 bombers bombing the 3 nuclear sites. They came out very successfully. 150 aircraft were involved.
Yes.
They actually flew through the west instead of the east. So they took off. They created the impression that they were going in a different direction, but they then later came back here. So it was an extremely successful operation. We don't know if the nuclear capability has been obliterated. That is for the experts to decide later. But it was a matter of pride for the Americans. The second operation is Nicolas Maduro and his wife being captured. Only the initial pilot was injured very badly, but nobody died. And the first aircraft was damaged a bit. But other than that, they all came back safely, and they brought the captors back, and they also killed more than 30 Cuban bodyguards and security personnel, along with another 40 Venezuelans. So these two had made Trump believe. He says, we have the best army in the world. We have the strongest army in the world. Unparalleled. There is nobody to match our strength or prowess. So I have a feeling he is itching to use this one more time.
Reuse it in Iran.
However, what is holding him back is, I think the Arabs are not fully for it. I think we discussed this separately. We said if Iran is degraded, there is no match for Israel. I don't think any Arab state, as much as they dislike Iran, they
want Iran also.
Correct. They dislike Israel much more. So this is one thing that is holding him back. Israel wants him to strike.
Okay.
Israel is itching to strike. And the Abbas Araghchi, the Iranian...
And Netanyahu knows how to trigger Trump.
He knows, but he also knows that there are both hawks and doves around Trump. And Trump is a man who will only do things for his own benefit. He's a transactional leader. If there is something for him in it, he will go to the aid of Netanyahu. If there isn't, he wouldn't. It is not that that he's in love with Netanyahu. I think he has his reservations about Netanyahu.
Yeah. Numerous times he has commented also.
Correct. But he has to work with him. And they consider the Israelis as the strongest ally in the region for them. It's only after this that they consider the Arabs like Saudis and the Emiratis as their friends. So this is where we are. And Marco Rubio says all this buildup is for defensive purposes because we have thousands of American soldiers in the region.
Okay.
But if there is a need for offense, they will be ready. And Trump doesn't mince words. He speaks his mind.
Yes.
He says that they will strike with speed and violence.
They are capable of that.
Yes. And in the Indian Ocean, you have Abraham Lincoln, the fighter ship, parked there. Diego Garcia Air Base, they have reinforced. They've reinforced their places in Qatar and their bases in Qatar. In Jordan, and in the neighborhood.
He is fully ready.
He's ready. And so, therefore, the Iranian foreign minister says, our soldiers have their fingers on the trigger. If you strike us, there will be very cataclysmic consequences. And this will be messy, it will be protracted, it will destabilize the region. All this is true. All this is true. So we'll have to wait and see. My own guess is It's a 50-50 as we speak now.
Okay.
He might strike, he may not strike. But the Americans have been in touch through Steve Witkoff with the foreign minister of Iran,
Iran.
Abbas Araghchi, until some time ago. And this execution business, when Trump said, I've gotten word from on good authority that they will not execute, is actually through that channel.
Okay.
Okay, so he said this. But American analysts say Abbas Araghchi doesn't make decisions. He's just a foreign minister. Decisions are made by the supreme leader,
Khamenei.
Ayatollah Khamenei. So, and we discussed this earlier. I said he might be in an ivory tower. He may not know what is happening
Yes, yes.
on the ground.
And particularly now, it is very clear that he is in a bunker. And what outside world,
Correct.
only outside knowledge is transmitted to him. That's it.
Correct. And two independent human rights watchdogs, human rights groups say more than 25,000 people may have been killed.